Hi guys, today I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to make modeling paste. And I have these two glass bottles, or containers here. I want more of one than I do the other, so that's why they're different sizes. And I'm going to make one with cornstarch and the other with baking soda. This one's going to be the cornstarch and baking soda. So I'm going to get started. So the first ingredient to this modeling paste recipe is gesso. I bought this gesso sorry, at Hobby Lobby for $14. It was on sale because I guess someone dropped it or something and the cap came off and some gesso came out, but it was pretty much full, so I bought it. It was originally $40. I personally like buying gesso in large quantities because I use so much of it that if I were to buy like if I were to buy smaller bottles of gesso, I would be spending a lot more than if I just bought one big thing of gesso. So yeah, I like to buy it really big. Yeah, there's gesso. And gesso by itself can already create texture. I don't know if you can see it right. Hold on. See that? If you layer on a thick enough coat of gesso, you can already get texture. Well, I guess you can also do that with pretty much any paint, I guess, but it already kind of feels like a modeling paste, but we're just gonna thicken it up. So I have my two bottles, and I'm not gonna measure how much I'm gonna put in each bottle. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Okay, I'm gonna put Mod Podge. Should this go next? Yeah, whatever. I have this Mod Podge. It's paper Mod Podge. The reason that I got this is because it's acid free and it's matte. And it was $10.99, but I used my 40% off coupon. So I'm gonna add, this is 2 tablespoons, so that's 2 fluid ounces. I mean, no, 1 fluid ounce. So I'm gonna add that. Oh, I think I'm gonna add half an ounce to this one. So I have my Mod Podge and gesso. And now I'm going to put, oops, okay, let me make this bigger. Cornstarch in one and baking soda in the other. I've done the baking soda one before, but I've never done cornstarch. Let's see how this is going to work. Oops, yeah. I'm going to mix this one up and see if I need more. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I just cleaned off my knife, but pretty thick, pretty smooth. It has a little bit of like clumps, but I don't think that's a very big deal. I need to clean off this. Okay, so now I have my baking soda and going to put some of this in here. totally missing the spoon. So, baking soda feels like sand. It feels like fine sand. Now cornstarch feels more like flour. So baking soda is definitely more coarse. Is that the right word? Oh no. Too much. So I'm gonna mix this up. I might have to take some out because I want a lot more baking soda in there. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take some of this out, add some more baking soda, and then okay, so I'm done mixing it. I added a lot more baking soda. Ah, jeez, I'm making such a mess. And I think I could even like add more, but I'm just gonna leave it. So you can even feel a difference in the texture when you're mixing. This one's definitely going to be rougher. Okay, so I have a piece of paper written down baking soda, cornstarch, and then I thought I would show you guys the difference between these two and joint compound or plaster, patching plaster stuff. So I'm going to try them all out. So I'm going to start with the baking soda. And I can't decide if I want to use a stencil or not. I think I'm going to start off with just getting some, oops, and just kind of making my own texture. So I'm going to let these dry, and then I will see how each of them take paint differently, because I think that's a good thing to try out. So I'm gonna before this dries, I thought I should show you guys how different they are drying. I really hope I don't mess this up, but in the back of this, see that? See that right there where the joint compound was? It's soaking through because the plaster is really wet. It has like the most water in it. And yeah, it is really soaking through the paper. So that's just something to keep in mind with the joint compound. It is really, really wet. So I thought you guys might want to see what happens when you try to make modeling paste with gesso and baking powder. It's interesting. So I'm going to do it down here. Now it's probably way too much. this up here. You see what it's doing? It's expanding. Becomes like a foam. It's really weird. And it just like keeps expanding. And if you put it on paper, it gets this really weird bubbly effect. So yeah, interesting. But I'm not going to make any of this because I don't like it. It feels really weird and it dries weird too. But anyway, thought I would show you guys. Okay, so it's the next day. I left these overnight because they just took forever to dry. I kept checking them and they were still wet. Especially these two. Okay, so the baking soda one feels, yeah, it feels the roughest. It's like, yeah, it feels kind of like, yeah, like sandy, but it doesn't, none of it comes off on your finger. That's just some Mod Podge. It's not going to, it's not going to come off. You don't have to put, sorry, you don't have to seal this to make sure it's going to stay on your page. The cornstarch, oh, and it didn't crack, it dried really smooth, but it has some tooth to it. Now the cornstarch did crack, but I think that is because I put the heat gun on it. I don't think it would have done that otherwise. I was surprised this one didn't, but this one, maybe I've had the heat gun on this one more, but it did crack. And it does have a smoother feel to it, but it just doesn't look as nice because it cracked with the heat gun. Let's see. And it's really thickly put on there, and this is a thin piece of paper, so if you bend it like that, see how it cracks? But it's not chalky at all. It's it's not gonna just fall off your page like this one. And this one, if I bend it, yeah, I mean, it's still gonna crack, but I'm not gonna bend my page like that. So, okay, this one, the plaster. This one is already cracked, and I haven't even tried to bend it. As you can see, and this can just come off your page. And this one has it. It is chalky. This does come off. Can't really see it, but it definitely is coming off. And I mean, this stuff can just kind of like crack off. Of course, I put the heaviest amount, or most on this one, but yeah, it did crack, and see, which is unfortunate, but yeah, so if you do put this on your page, you should probably have something under the plaster, like gesso or something, to prime your page, and you should seal it in with like coats of paint or like Mod Podge or something. So they're all a little different. This one is the most different of the three. See, it's just kind of coming off. So yeah, I'm gonna see how they take paint. I have just $1 turquoise. Yeah, this is turquoise. Well, it's called Hawaii. Paint, it's nothing special. I'm just going to put some on this plate, and I'm going to dilute it in water because I want to see if any of these will resist paint or if it will soak it up, and I think watered down paint will work better for that. Okay, so I'm just gonna So as you can see, the baking soda and the cornstarch resist paint a lot more than the joint compound. The joint compound is just absorbing the pigment, and they're resisting it. And I really like how the cornstarch and the baking soda modeling paste are resisting the paint. That's what I wanted, and that's also another reason why I put the Mod Podge in the mixture, because this is water resistant, so it's going to make them not, absorb paint, which is what I wanted. My favorite out of the three is the baking soda. The baking soda didn't really, is warp the right word? Didn't really bend the paper, even though it was the thinnest layer of modeling paste, so that might be the reason. But it didn't bend it as much as this one. This one really bent the paper. I wish I hadn't used the heat gun on it, because then I would have gotten true results. Just air dry. So yeah, the baking soda is my favorite, and I made the smallest amount of it because I thought I was gonna like the cornstarch more, but from this experiment I like the baking soda the best. Yeah, I would not do this with the joint compound, because yeah, I would prepare my paper first, and I don't know, maybe even add some of this to the joint compound to make it hold together. Yeah, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. This is not going to come off your page, but I do suggest putting it maybe on thicker paper. Even though this is mixed media paper, it's really thin, and it wasn't gessoed or anything. So it would be more likely to bend your paper and possibly crack if it was on really thin paper like this. So I would suggest gessoing your page first or having it on thicker paper. So I'll give you guys a close. I really like how it resisted the paint. And then this one's just bleh. I do like the texture of the cornstarch one. It's really smooth. I do like that. So I'm really wanting to try the cornstarch one out and not use the heat gun on it and see if it still cracks. I'm almost positive that was the heat gun. And I want to experiment with them more. So that's that. And here's my baking soda one. Cornstarch one, and then the joint compound, which I wish it did not crumble off the page. So yeah, the reason that I made these in, you know, a good amount of modeling paste is because I have a lot of gesso. If I bought a bottle of gesso for like, I don't know, $12, I'm not sure, like around there, I probably would not use it to make my own modeling paste. I would just go buy modeling paste and use my 40% off coupon. But I have a lot of gesso and I'm gonna get more soon, so I didn't care if I used it for this. But if I have like an expensive, you know, smaller bottle of gesso, I would not use it to do this. But, you know, that's just me. So I like these two. And I knew that this one wasn't going to turn out good, but I just wanted to show you guys what joint compound does on the page, because I was curious. I wanted to know things about joint compounds, so I thought there might be someone else like me wanting to know certain things about joint compound for art journaling. So I think that is it. Yeah, really inexpensive. I mean, baking soda is, I think this is like 50 cents. I had a bunch of gesso. This was $10, but I only used a tablespoon to put in here and 2 tablespoons for this, so I mean, I did not use a lot of this. So that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment below if you have any questions, and I will see you guys later.